Heyo, it's Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault. Peace and love. I'm here to tell you that it is that time of year when you need to go to near mint conditions Google Doc and vote for your most wanted reprint, the out of print Marvel books that you want reprinted. In my description box, there's going to be a link that will take you right to the Google Doc, and you'll have 5 choices. And I'm going to tell you what I voted for. I'm not going to try and sell you on it. You'll see what books are out of print, and you'll put your favorite choices in there, 1 through 5. You get 5 picks. And this is a legit poll. Omar works for Marvel. They listen to him. And I would venture to say that they will pay attention to what people have as far as the top 20 goes, maybe even top 30. I don't know. But there are a lot of books that are out of print, and I thought I'd go over those first. Some of them surprised me. I didn't know they were out of print, and then I'll just tell you the 5 I'm going to vote for. And again, the link will be in the description box. You have until April 22nd. That is a week from yesterday, which is actually today, but I'm posting it tomorrow. So as far as you're concerned, it's yesterday, the 15th. Okay, so it's going to be up for a week. So this is a promotion for it. Omar doesn't know that, and I don't expect any type of remuneration, although he can slip me a 20 here and there. That'd be good, Anyway, these books, now I'm not going to go over the whole list. You'll see it for yourself when you go to the Google Doc. But there are a lot of like Alias, Aliens, All New Wolverine by Tom Taylor. Lots of Spider-Man books. Michelinie and McFarlane, JMS, Amazing Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. And the fact that there are a lot of Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and especially X-Men books that are out of print is really a function of the fact that there are a lot of those books that they publish. Astonishing X-Men, I can vouch for that book. That book needs to be reprinted because that's one of the books that got me into Marvel and into X-Men. Avengers, Cable X-Force. I was surprised that Captain America, the first Captain America by Brubaker, and also Captain America, The Death of Captain America Omnibus are out of print. Those should be evergreen, like forever. Cloak and Dagger Omnibus Volume 1 is out of print, which means lots of people bought it. So as much fun as I'd like to make of Cloak and Dagger, it's probably pretty good. People are buying it. So I would say that is a legit request. Daredevil, a lot of Daredevil. Daredevil by Brubaker, Volume 1. Daredevil by Frank Miller. Omnibus. Daredevil by Frank Miller Companion. Daredevil by Mark Waid, Volume 2. Daredevil Omnibus, Volume 1. And also the Marvel Knights by Joe Quesada is out of print. That's a lot of Daredevil that's out of print. Almost all, it looks like to me, almost all Deadpool is out of print. Deadpool by Daniel Way, Volume 1 and 2. Deadpool by Joe Kelly. Posehn and Dugan. Classic. Deadpool Minibuzz 0, 2, and 3. Deadpool Beginnings. It's a lot of Deadpool that's out of print. And that Deadpool by Posehn and Dugan is one of my favorite books. I would happily beat the drum for that. Let's see. Doctor Strange by Aaron and Bacallo, Chris Baccello, whatever. That's a great book. That should be in print. So those of you that haven't read that, that's a wonderful book. That's the book, I believe, that gave us Bats, one of the greatest ghost dogs ever. A little bit more Doctor Strange. Oh, Elektra by Frank Miller and Bill Sienkiewicz. Excalibur Volume 1, Fantastic Four, John Byrne Volume 2, Jonathan Hickman Volume 2, Matt Fraction, Fantastic Four OG Run 2, 3, and 4. Wow. And strangely, almost all Guardians of the Galaxy omnis are out of print. Abnett and Lanning, Jerry Duggan, Jim Valentino, Solo Classic, Tomorrow's Heroes. I feel like that's all of them except for Bendis's run. Let's see, House of M Omnibus already out, that of print. That was just released. Planet Hulk, that needs to be back in print. Incredible Hulk by Peter David, Volume 1 and Volume 3. Volume 1 and 3. Volume 1 definitely is to be back in print. Infinity Gauntlet. This will be like the 5th reprint for that if that gets voted in. It should. A lot of Marvel horror here. Man-Thing Omnibus, that's a good one. Marvel Horror Lives Again. Marvel Horror, Volume 1. Masters of Suspense. Marvel Now, that can stay out of print. These Marvel Universe ones, the floating head books, not a big fan of those. If you like them, go ahead and vote for them. Not for me. Monsters Volume 1, the Marvel Monster Bus, Volume 1 and 2. Those were popular, I think. Here's something that surprises me. 2 books that just came. Moon Knight by Jed MacKay, that just got released. That's already out of print. Moon Knight by Huston and Benson. I love that book. I think the better book to start a new reader on would be the Jed MacKay one. But boy, once you get to know Moon Knight, that Huston and Benson run is solid. Regular Moon Knight, Volume 2, Ms. Marvel, Muppet Babies. Really? That's out of print? Muppets Omnibus. That's actually a fun book. New Mutants Volume 1 and 2. New X-Men Omnibus. That's one of the books that got me. That's the first thing I read just about of X-Men. That and another book on here, Uncanny X-Force by Remender. That's out of print. Uncanny Avengers by Remender. That's out of print. The 3 Punisher by Garth Ennis. Punisher Max Volume 1 and 2 and Punisher by Garth Ennis. Those are all out of print. I'm surprised at that. Runaways Omnibus. That's a great book. I kept the OHCs, but I can attest to how great that is. Savage Avengers, Secret Invasion, Secret Wars of the 80s 1 and 2, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man by Byrne, by Roger Stern, by Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man vs. Venom, Spider-Man's Tangled Web, Star Wars by Jason Aaron. That shouldn't be out of print. That should be evergreen because that book is good. Star Wars Original Marvel Years 1, 2, and 3. Star Wars Darth Vader by Charles Soule. Star Wars Darth Vader by Kieran Gillen. Both top Star Wars books. I love those books. Droids and Ewoks. Vote for them if you must. A lot of Star Wars books. And Thanos, Thor, Thunderbolts, Timely's Greatest, Tomb of Dracula 2 and 3. I bet those get voted. A lot of people are going to want that. Those 2. Ultimate X-Men Omnibus, Ultimates by Mark Miller and Brian Hitch. That's a book that got me into Marvel too. Ultimates by Miller and Hitch. Kenny X-Force. And here we go. Uncanny X-Men 1, 3, 4. Then Omnibus 1, 2, and 3. War of Kings, War of the Realms. That's a chunky one. Werewolf by Night, Tomb of Dracula, Marvel Horror. There's a lot of those things that people like, and they will be voting for them, I bet. Wolverine and the X-Men, Wolverine by Mark Millar. Wolverine Volume 1's out of print. X-Men by Claremont and Jim Lee, Volume 2. X-Men by Claremont and Lee, Volume 1. So 1 and 2 are out of print. And then we have a ton of X-Men here. Classic, Jonathan Hickman, Inferno, Legacy, Legion, X-Men, original X-Men, like the Stanley X-Men, Volume 1 and Volume 2, X-Men versus Apocalypse, The 12, Age of Apocalypse Companion, Age of Apocalypse, Grand Design. That's a good book. I have it in the Treasury edition, but Phalanx Covenant, Legion Quest. Didn't that just come out? Revolution by Chris Claremont, X-Men Avengers Onslaught, Extreme X-Men, Young Avengers. And I will tell you, so that's just a sample. I didn't name everything, but this is the reprint poll. So as much as we want to vote for Inhumans for our friend Manga Geekdom, they haven't had an omnibus, so it can't get a reprint. Sorry, Geo. So I'm going to vote for these 5 books that are in front of me. I already own them. I want other people to get the joy out of these books that I do. First up, All New Wolverine by Tom Taylor. This is X-23, Laura Kinney. It's just a super, one thing all these books are, super fun. I'm sure I've talked about this forever, but this is one of the best. This is my favorite Wolverine book. I love X-23. I love Gabby, Honey Badger. She gets sisters cloned from her. X-23 does. Old Man Logan shows up in this. Gabby is a crack up in this. This should be evergreen, I would argue. Tom Taylor at his best, which is all the time. Another book, this is one that I banged the drum for to get an omnibus. It got an omnibus, and now it's out of print. Gwenpool. You've heard me, I'm sure, talk about how fun Gwenpool is. She's a blast. This is a great character that I'd like to read this again now that I'm looking through it. It is just super fun. She breaks the fourth wall. She comes out of the comic book practically. She's the central idea is that she's a person from like this earth dropped into a comic book, and she knows all the tropes, and she knows what's happening in the books. She knows how to escape certain things and defeat certain foes, and it is just funny as heck. Christopher Hastings did a lot of the writing in this. This also includes the Howard the Duck issues where she showed up. Christopher Hastings wrote all those. Kelly Thompson writes a great Gwenpool and West Coast Avengers and Superior Spider-Man, Christos Gage, Champions. This contains everything. She's awesome. I love Gwenpool. I need to read this again this year. This one's out of print, and it needs to be back in print because there's a lot of people. I feel like this sort of sat on shelves for a while, but now that it's out of print, and it's been out of print, I think, for a while, I think people are intrigued by it. Peter Milligan and the Allreds, Michael Allred and Laura Allred. I reviewed this with, I may have reviewed, I can't remember who I reviewed this with, but it's Peter Milligan just writes a great book. X-Force gets turned into This is about X-Force, and this was written back in the early 2000s, and they are media stars, and this is where my boy Dupe comes into play. Dupe is on the X-Force team, and they are X-Force is basically a team of superheroes that exists for, they do they do fight crime and stuff, but they do it for views on TV, and it is a very prescient book, as Crushing Crisis says. Very prescient, and it is. And there are consequences in this. So I love this book. Oop, God, but I hate AirPods because my ears just are not made for these fakakta things. Okay, here we go. Anyway, great art by Michael Allred, great colors, Laura Allred, fantastic writing by Peter Milligan. I want everybody to have a chance to buy this because it's great. And a book I was surprised to be out of print. This will, it's already been out of print, like right when it got released during the pandemic. Silver Surfer. I'm going to vote for this because I want everybody to have a chance to read this. Dan Slott, and again, Michael and Laura Allred are in this. People call this Doctor Who in space. I don't know enough about Doctor Who, but Silver Surfer is great. He has a gal pal named Dot that travels around with him, and they go to amazing and interesting different galaxies, discover different types of humanoids, different types of life forms. They live life to the fullest, and it is romantic, it is adventurous, and the ending made me weep. This book was in my 10 books, or I don't know if I numbered them, books that made me cry video. You can check it out. It's actually, it contains a lot of good books. This book, the ending, choked me up. It's beautiful. And then this book has been out of print almost, I don't know, like 8 years, and it's very funny. Lou and I just had a read through on Omnibro's Patreon, Superior Foes of Spider-Man. This book is one of the few comics that made me legit LOL, laugh out loud. These guys are inept. They want to be the new Sinister Six. There's only 5 of them. They keep getting in each other's way. Nick Spencer just writes brilliantly. Steve Lieber does a great job on the art. It contains, let's see, Boomerang, he's in charge. Shocker, Speed Demon, Overdrive, the new Beetle. Spoiler alert, she's like Tombstone's daughter or something, I forget. And there's the head of Silvio Silvermane. It's like a living head, and it rides on a little cart. Here's the little head. Shocker is just a bumbling knucklehead. It's hilarious. It is genuinely funny, and I really want people to get their hands on this book. When it came out, $50. You know, that's not what it's going to be priced at when it comes out. It's a thin one, 17 issues, I think. Very funny. Like, as I said, it's got a scene in it that I legit laughed out loud about, and not many comics have me do that. So this will be my top choice that I'm going to vote for, number 1. And that's how it is on the poll. You vote your highest, the one you want the most, you vote number 1, you get 5 choices, and you send it into Near Mint. There'll be a video about it where they count up the results, and it gets sent to Marvel. So you never know. Your top pick could be the one that gets reprinted. Maybe your top 5 get reprinted. Peace and love, peace and love. This is Omnidog signing out saying you have a week to vote. April 22nd is the deadline. Go do it. Do your duty. Go to the voting polls. Peace and love.